Hello, my travelers. Today we're visiting the Normandy region and paying respect to D-Day. So yes, today we're chatting, continuing along with our Avalon River cruise, and today is the day that we went to visit Normandy. We chose to do the British and Canadian memorials and beaches, as we are Canadian. And now really this is more the Commonwealth memorials and beaches, but that's how Avalon refers to it, as the British and Canadian. Now I will admit that I was a bit apprehensive about this excursion. I was worried, being an all-day thing, that we'd just be so tired at the end of it that we wouldn't be able to properly pay our respects to the sacrifices that were made. I don't know why, I was worried that it wouldn't be as respectful as I was hoping to be. I am personally very private in my remembrance of the sacrifices that were made. So doing it in public, it's outside of my comfort zone. I was also a little bit worried, for kind of selfish reasons, admittedly, that it would put a damper on the rest of the trip. That it would be very, very depressing. And again, yes, that is for selfish reasons. World War II and the battles that were involved with that, I have, of course, utmost respect for the sacrifices that were made, but it's not an interest of mine. It's not something that I'll go out of my way and watch movies on and find out more of the history about. It is for my husband, though. So this was more something that my husband really wanted to do, especially with his history of his family and their contributions to the war effort as well. So I was a bit apprehensive, but at the end of it, no, I'm so glad that we went. So we'll get into more a bit about that. There was no reason for me to be worried. And I wanted to give that information to you guys in case you guys were in the same situation. This was an all-day excursion, so we did need to get up really quite early. 8:15 was when our bus left to go do a 10-hour excursion. I will let you know right now, I didn't take a lot of pictures during this tour. I wanted to be more present for it. So I do have a few just to kind of show you, but just FYI, I don't have a ton. There were alternatives, of course, to the British and Canadian excursions. You could have gone on one that's more focused on the USA memorials and beaches. And then if you didn't want to do something related to the battles, to World War II, you were of course welcome. There was another tour that just visited the Normandy region, and you got to visit the Bayeux Tapestry and also go on a brandy tasting. So there was absolutely an alternative if that was not something you were interested in, or if you've visited those regions before. Now, first we visited the British and Canadian Cemetery, where some of the first sacrifices or first victims of the battle were buried. We did take some time and a moment of silence for those that were fallen. We laid a wreath down, which was very nice. Next, we visited the Pegasus Memorial for the Pegasus Bridge. And we actually, on location, is the actual bridge that still has the bullet holes from that battle. That was very impactful. For lunch, we stopped at a town on Gold Beach. So Gold Beach, of course, was one of the British beaches, and I'm going to mispronounce this. Armanche-les-Bains. Armanche-les-Bains? Sorry, my French is really not great, but we did stop for lunch here. Lunch was all arranged as part of the excursion, so you didn't have to worry about that, but we did take some time there. We were actually able to see, this was the location where they had the man-made harbor, the floating harbor, or also, it's also called an artificial harbor, where they were able to transport troops and equipment to this artificial harbor, and you could still see the remnants of that from this beach. We really liked that. This was a bustling town. Lots of different hotels and shops and different things to see. Also, what was really neat, while we were there, you could tell there was some type of cadet conference or event where there were British cadets who were visiting and, you know, taking tours of the different locations, which was really, I really liked seeing that and seeing the next generation getting immersed in what happened here. After lunch, we did go and visit Juno Beach and see the Juno Beach Center, which is the Canadian building. This was kind of neat to see a little bit of Canadiana in France, because it's, you can tell the Canadian architecture, Canadian built. It was all of the employees, or not employees there, but the people working there were all Canadians. And it was rather poignant, actually, because they specifically brought over young Canadians who would have been the same age as, you know, the soldiers who came over during the invasion. So that was rather poignant. The center is really well done, but there was so much to see. We did not have time to see it all. Juno Beach, you know, we got to go out and see Juno Beach. There was a lot more in this area that I wish we could have stayed longer. After Juno Beach, we did go to the Canadian Cemetery. This was so peaceful and quiet. Up on a hill, had the most amazing view. It was really good to see. The guide would go around and tell you a little bit, tell you about overall who was buried here, and then they would go to certain graves where they knew who was buried there and what their story was, it was very interesting. But I always felt sad for the graves we didn't visit, because they had just as important stories, but just because we don't know them doesn't make them any less important, you know? So I did listen to some of the stories, but then I would go off and try and pay respects to some of the other graves that were there. And it's overwhelming and beautiful and peaceful and tragic and all these different emotions. It's sobering, really, at the end of the day. It's sad, but not depressing. Well, it is depressing, but I didn't leave that feeling depressed. Now, as I mentioned, we didn't have a ton of time at the Juno Center. I do wish we had some more time, because there was lots of different things that we did not get to see there, or at the exhibit read the different articles and different parts. So I did wish we had more time there. If this is something that's really important to you and you don't want to have your time cut short because it is a guided tour, what I'd recommend is that we'd actually plan that out independently a day after your cruise. So we'd try and find a cruise that ended in the Normandy region so that you'd have a few days to actually go and dedicate the time. But in other ways, it was good that we didn't linger and that it was cut short. There's an advantage to that, absolutely, because then we left. Both of us, my husband and I, really enjoyed it. My husband was coming into this, again, apprehensive like myself. In his mind, these were areas that were ravaged by war, and that's kind of all he knows about Normandy, or all he knew about Normandy going into this. So he was very concerned that you'd see these scars and this everything ravaged by war. But seeing all of these different places, it's a beautiful area. It's lush. People are they're living their life. They're going about their day. They're going to restaurants. They're walking the beaches, especially Juno Beach. You could see people walking their dogs along the beach and just going out and having picnics, or going out and just enjoying the ocean. And seeing people live their lives, not necessarily that nothing ever happened here, but moving on, that was very cathartic for him. He really enjoyed that. And I think coming away from it, both of us had a lot of hope. We were very happy that we went on this tour, and we did really enjoy the tour. I think overall, the tour, the way it was planned out, was one of the better tours that we have been on, and the information that they gave us, it was a very well done tour. So I would recommend it. That being said, it's not the right tour for everyone. This was our experience with that tour. If this, is something that you guys are interested in, I would love to help you plan an amazing river cruise adventure or independent tour to visit the Normandy region. If you have any questions or comments, please don't hesitate to post below or send me an email. We'd love to see new subscribers. Be sure to like this video. I'd love to continue making more videos like this. I am a river cruise specialist. I love booking trips and booking river cruises for my clients and planning out and getting the right trip for you. So when you guys are ready to start planning your next river cruise adventure, be sure to reach out. I'm Alicia with Evening Star Travel. You have a wonderful day.